enjoyed it. He's totally gonna start everything, right? And the one time I talk is a lot here.
Recording in progress.
It's good. We're not. I'm just not gonna.
30 seconds, okay. Got other people keeping time there. I'll do that. We'll be sure we're good. Our meeting will be over in 3 minutes. Or the eggs will be ready, one of the two.
Do you want me to go
Okay.
already through these? Is that what you're saying?
Are we recording? Okay. Ready on the left? Ready on the right? Okay. Invocation, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let's pray. Father, as always, we just paused at the beginning of our time together to be grateful, to say thank you. We're so grateful for a city council and city staff that have given a part of their life to the citizens, and the work that they do goes unrewarded sometimes. So we just stop to be grateful for them and the work that they do around here, and for the example that they set for the world around them in unity, God. In a world that seems so divided every day, this council, the staff, this city does such a good job of showing what unity looks like. We just pray that they would continue to do that you would give them peace and wisdom as we go through the business of this meeting tonight, and that you would bless the city of Mary Esther in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you very much. And you've got a pretty cool boat on TV. We saw it on TV. You look pretty good on TV too. I know that guy. So anyway. Huh? Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Well, go and take a look at it. Okay, I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the City of Mary Esther City Council, the August 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? One nation, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like the city clerk to do a roll call of the council.
All right. Councilmember April Sutton.
Here.
Councilmember Richard Lawson.
Present.
Councilmember Larry Carter. And Councilmember Bernie Yoder.
Present.
Okay, thank you. We have a quorum, so we can proceed.
Yes. Yes,
I-
Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 5 is approval of the city agenda. Does anybody have any changes they'd like to make to the agenda for tonight? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Sutton's the first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Oh, there we go. Okay, and we are.
Carter, but he is not in.
Carter is not here. Yeah, well, you got 4 council members.
I had to click it twice.
Okay. Now the numbers are coming in. Okay. One more. And we've got unanimous, or 4 out of 5. We're good to go. Okay. That's approved of tonight's agenda. Item number 6 is special presentations. 6.1 is a community redevelopment area CRA finding of necessity report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the record, Tyler Reed, Community Development Director. Tonight, we have a special presentation on the finding of necessity report for the Community Redevelopment Area Project. Joining us this evening all the way from Tampa is Ms. Hannah Schaefer with Kimley Horn. Kimley Horn has worked with us on the technical review of this project, and she'll be providing the bulk of the presentation for tonight. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Hannah.
Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you.
Had a safe trip.
I
Good
did.
trip.
Yes. No issues so far. So Mayor, council members, thank you for having me tonight. My name is Hannah Schaefer. I'm a certified urban planner with Kimley Horn, representing the project team for the finding necessity, and really here today just to share what we found through that finding of necessity report, what a CRA and what those opportunities are should you move forward with establishing a CRA. So really open to discussion, just listening to any questions you might have or just any discussion surrounding a potential CRA. All right, so the finding of necessity report is that first step you take in initiating a CRA for your city. And these are typically done within cities or counties, and it's pretty common, within Florida and around the country too. So I'll go over what the CRA is, the intention of it, the findings from the report, and then some of the opportunities. So the CRA, we're looking at a focus area within the city. So you can see the city limits are in green there, and then that dash blue area is that focus CRA area. So that's the proposed CRA. And the goal is to focus redevelopment within this area in providing opportunities and catalyzing redevelopment that might not otherwise occur without this specific focus or investment in this area. So the goal is to improve a range of things. It could be economic development, it could be infrastructure improvements, housing opportunities. And the way you do that is the most important part of a CRA is establishing a funding mechanism, which is a tax increment financing mechanism. I don't know how familiar you all are with it, but basically how it works when you establish it, it freezes the property values where they are at that base when you establish it. And any increase to property values, that taxable money goes into a pot, a fund that the CRA can use to fund these projects and improvements. So you're investing directly back into this area that you've established. So it's a intentional investment that when the CRA sunsets, CRAs do not last forever. When it sunsets, your property values in this area are going to be increased from what they were before. So it really is a return on investment that you're making into this area.
One question, what taxes are we talking about? City, county, school
Property
district?
taxes
For the city, county, or school district?
for the city.
Just the city taxes.
Yes, and the county could potentially contribute to it as well.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with how this county works with the CRAs, but I know in other ones, they provide a portion of it. It can range from 10% to 50% to 70%, depending on how that works. So it is shared between county and city at
you.
times. So with this report, like I said, it's the first step in understanding, is this area ripe for a CRA? And you have to meet at least 2 requirements of the 15 per state statute to be viable to even move forward with establishing a CRA. And showed this earlier, this is the proposed CRA boundary within the city. This is what we're looking at. So it is a set boundary, and only the parcels within this boundary are included in the CRA. And I want to spend some time talking about Amendment 3, which is the homestead property tax amendment that's on the ballot in November, and just bringing attention to how this impacts not only the city budget, but also CRAs too. So obviously, this could have major impacts to the funding available in the city's budget. And should you establish a CRA, it will impact a TIF financing mechanism. It'll just be lower and slower, but the benefit is you still have that funding mechanism to address some of these challenges you might be having, fund projects that you might not otherwise be able to. So there is still a benefit to it, to establishing this funding mechanism. It just will look a little different moving forward. So want to bring that to y'all's attention. The homestead property tax exemption will largely affect single family and residential properties. So you do have in the proposed CRA a lot of commercial, vacant properties and industrial, which isn't as affected as those residential properties. So you will still see that tax increment grow. So from the finding of necessity report, through these 15 metrics that we're looking at to understand if this area meets the criteria per the state, we found that they meet 7 of the 15. So this is telling us that this is an area that could benefit from establishing a CRA. And generally, the things that met this criteria included high concentration of code violations, some crime, deficiencies in the infrastructure, roadway network, parking, bridges, and in other public amenities as well. And then just generally deteriorating conditions that could be improved with the CRA. And should you move forward, the next step would be to establish a CRA plan. And within that plan, you identify projects, programs, and policies that the CRA funding can be used for. So the projects that are in that plan can only be used, or CRA funds can only be used for projects in that plan. So I'm going to go over some examples and ways other communities have used CRA funding and potentially ways that could benefit you too. And one of the main ones is that roadway and utility infrastructure. So repaving roadways, undergrounding utilities, adding lighting, addressing the underground utilities like water, wastewater, or stormwater, and mobility improvements like improving safer crossings, intersection improvements. I think you guys on your agenda have something down the line of median landscaping, so that could be funded with CRA funds. And then more bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure improvements. So ADA improvements, which is important to walkability in this area, safer crossings, and then opportunities for trails or recreation areas as well. And one of the most important parts, and I think with the land uses you have in this proposed CRA, are the economic and business incentives and programs that you can offer. So we see a lot of facade improvement grants. You see that before and after photo there. That's from a different CRA in Tarpon Springs, where they offer a grant for facade improvements for various businesses. And there's a range of grants that can benefit small businesses, local businesses to help start those new businesses in the area and really revitalize the retail and commercial properties. And then, of course, you can have wayfinding and murals and other placemaking elements that will help build that character within the district. And one of the other popular categories is related to housing. So there's various housing programs, policies, and grants that you can provide. So similar to the retail and commercial properties, you can have residential grants for cleaning up dilapidated properties, housing assistance programs, things like that. So the next steps will be for us to submit the finding of necessity report indicating that this area is a good area to establish a CRA. And then you will want to establish a community redevelopment agency, and they are the ones who will oversee that TIF funding and the implementation of the CRA. And then you'll develop that CRA plan that houses all of those projects, policies, and improvements that you'd like to see within that area. And then as part of that plan, you generally establish the TIF funding mechanism with that as well. So I'll answer any questions. I know that was pretty high level.
Questions?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead.
Who's the makeup of that board?
It can depend. It can be city departments. It could be, we've seen like other local businesses. It's really up to, you want to jump in?
It can also be council that can make up the board.
This statute, when you set these up, you can either do an appointed board or the council can act. So Fort Walton Beach has a CRA. They at one time had appointed boards, so like they appointed 7 members. Because you have to think of this, it's going to be its own self-sustaining entity within the city, right? So they they have their own budget, they can have their own staff potentially, to pay from that budget. So some places have CRA directors that kind of manage and help the CRA. But it allows you can do an appointed board, and then you can go, if you decide, hey, we don't want to do that any longer, you can wear that hat, right? But you'll notice it differently, right? It'll be a CRA. Instead of mayor and council members, you'll be
Not like an
CRA commission.
LPA, you
Right,
get
that kind of
LPA
thing,
people.
right. So you kind of can pick your poison on that. I will say part of the reason why Fort Walton Beach, moved away from that board is they kind of wanted more control, right? They wanted to kind of determine and not have other people that, I think some of the projects or some of the things, maybe they just weren't the biggest fans of, the elected officials. So then they're like, well, can we take back control? And yeah, you can, but there's some question on whether or not, once you go that route, whether or not you can kind of go back to the appointed board methodology. So that would just be something. And I know for Mary Esther in the past, it's been difficult to get volunteers, but usually you're looking for businesses and people who live in that CRA district because they've got a vested interest. So they'll usually come, especially if they get to spend money.
Do the sunshine law apply?
Yeah, all of that.
I had one question. Oh, good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, I mean, I'm in favor of a CRA mainly to address the blight issues in our commercial district, because if we can bring back our commercial district, it entices those in the residential district to spruce up their homes, and they have a vested interest to make it better.
Mhm.
But it does make it a lot more difficult for our residents when we have so much blight in the commercial district right now and the vacancies.
Mhm.
And so, and some of the business owners, it may just be a lack of, maybe they need some matching funds to help repaint their building or to clean up. So, I mean, I'm definitely for like a CRA in the city.
And a lot of those programs, you're not going to have to reinvent the wheel. I mean,
Right.
there's CRAs throughout the state, you got one in the neighboring city. I mean, so you can, model after things that you like if you decide to set them up.
The state's not real happy with CRAs at cities.
I think the
Other
ones
than
that-
this homestead thing, there's other stuff the state's trying to kill them.
There's some that they've targeted, usually in South Florida.
Okay.
And I think partly because they get such a bloated budget, because a lot of that, you just got money coming in and they're, and probably a lot of it is, maybe political, hey, we don't like what you're spending the money on, we can spend it better type of attitude. But I don't think you see as much scrutiny on the CRAs, Fort Walton Beach and some other areas. I think they're fairly conservative, right? And so,
Smaller numbers.
yeah, the numbers are a lot smaller.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you look at like Sun Plaza on Mary Esther Cutoff, they recently, what was it, last year, repainted the facade. And now you don't see the number of vagrants that necessarily hang out under there, because it's not that they don't still hang out, but you don't see it as often because it is freshly painted. It looks cleaner. They do take a little bit more pride. I mean, like the shopping plaza where Piggly Wiggly is, that would be a great opportunity to spruce that up. I mean, we get a lot of people that shop there. It's a beloved little place in our city. I mean, so to have that shine would be very good.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. If you have any additional questions after, you can get in touch with Tyler and we can
Okay.
provide more.
Yeah,
information.
that's fine. Yeah, but you answered anything else? Do you have
What's our next step?
Huh?
Yeah, next step.
All right, Tyler, what's our next step?
For the record, Tyler Reed, Community Development Director. As Hannah was saying, she laid out the steps for establishing the CRA. So adopting the finding of necessity, and then establishing the redevelopment plan would be the next step. So that's creating the plan. Usually we would have a third party like Kimley Horn to assist with developing that plan. And then once that gets adopted, then you can establish the CRA board. I just wanted to add to, in Okaloosa County, I know there was mention about the county tax and the county contributing. So Okaloosa County does contribute to CRAs in the county. But it all depends on, what's involved with our redevelopment plan, on how that works. So the county will, have the potential to contribute to this.
Okay. I was just curious where the money came from.
Question, the role that Kimberly, that Warren will play, how much is that gonna cost to develop that plan?
I don't know if we have a exact quote, because we haven't gotten to that stage yet, so.
It can range. It can range depending on, level of community engagement you want to have. And then if you're also establishing any TIF projections or market analysis in this, that usually adds to it. But it could range probably from $100,000 to $200,000. It could be less than that too, just depending on engagement. So don't hold me to that number, but
No,
it's
no.
generally what we see
An idea if
is,
It's 20,000, 200, 2 million.
yeah,
just to,
and you
know,
can, yeah. So depending on level of engagement, that's usually what
The more
takes on.
work you do, the more expensive it's going to be.
Yes. Yep.
We could have guessed that, but yeah. Okay, thank you. So the first step, the next step is going to be filing for the letter of necessity. Is that with the state?
Yes, we'll submit the finding of necessity. I don't know if the board has to approve it before we submit it.
I don't know. Find out.
Yeah, so either the board approving and then we submit, or we
Okay,
submit.
well,
So-
do we have a motion to approve filing the letter of necessity? Is
Well-
that what you're looking for, city manager?
So I think at this point, it was a matter of receiving the presentation. I still think there's probably a little bit more research on the staff side on the impact from Amendment 3. It's correct that that would certainly reduce some of the revenues, but the other part of this too is that if that amendment were to pass, essentially the area that does contribute to the operations for the city, for our general fund, is the commercial district. And so if you have a CRA and 100% of that increment is going to a separate fund, that means that those funds are not available for the general fund. And so I think there's probably a little bit more research that we need to do just because of this amendment that's kind of
Do we
out
want to
there.
wait till after November to take action?
I don't think there's any harm in adopting the finding of necessity report. We can bring that back to the next council meeting. This was really just to introduce it to you, to give you an opportunity to ask questions, understand it, and then we can move on to the next step.
Okay.
That's not my concern. My concern is funding the project. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but does anyone have another 100 to 200K somewhere?
This is not in this year's budget, correct?
No.
Correct. And we haven't, so to be fair, like we haven't really scoped this at all. The other piece of this is, I believe typically that is reimbursable from the CRA district itself.
That was my question.
So the CRA district would basically pay for whatever plan we decide to move forward with.
Right, but every time we contract out a service, it's a 6-figure tab that we're up here signing off on. So, I mean, at this point,
We can verify
I
that
mean-
the money won't come from the city then.
well, but I mean, at this point, how much staff do we need here if we're always contracting out to another service?
So the CRA is an entirely new animal. And I would say that we need to, if it's something we decide we want to move forward with, then we just need to scope the plan so that it fits our community. But yes, it will cost, it will require some funding, and
Right, but where is
ideally
that
you would
coming
pay.
from? Because I don't think the library wants to release their funding, or the sheriff's department, or fire department. I mean, I'm just kind of curious. I mean, last I checked, we can't produce money.
How much have we spent so far on this project?
I think our task order was roughly 18,000.
And that would include the letter of this filing?
It'd be for the finding of necessity. the
Yeah, that would
report.
include under the 18,000, or this would be an additional charge?
No, this would just be approving the finding of necessity report. So there's no like additional work beyond
Got to
this.
file it, right, with the state? Or don't you?
I don't, I
Okay.
don't know of any,
Okay.
haven't gotten that far
Okay.
into the weeds yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, if it is something that council wants to move forward with, it will require a plan because significant funds are involved. Um, uh, you know, if you have one major development in the CRA district, there's one that's occurred since I've been here. And for that particular development, it would have been $300,000 to $400,000 a year going into a CRA if the county fully participated. So it's significant potentially. And so I do think that, again, you want to scope it to where we're comfortable with the plan that comes out of it.
Okay. So we're at 18,000 now. That- And no more is going to be spent until this board, the council moves forward, correct?
So we have a task order right now, and so that is the only task order that we have for this
Okay.
project.
Okay. Any more? Oh, good.
No, I mean, we have a great idea, but no funding. Is that about how it looks?
Money, it just, you want to spend.
Go with the filing process and we'll have to find out a way to fund. I agree with Councilman Sutton as far as pulling another 200. Well, we don't know how much it's going to cost, but the fact is we don't know what the price tag is, and I don't want to commit and then we find out, oh, it's that much.
Right.
Yeah, it comes down to the scoping, like you said. Like, I mean, right now I'm working on a project in Tarpon Springs. Our team is just doing the community engagement portion, and city staff is taking on the task lead of putting together the projects, the actual report. So it can vary just
Yeah,
depending.
but our city staff isn't educated in that, so that's like he just said, so you've got the whole project probably then.
Yeah, so it's a range.
Yeah, well, we'll just press on.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Like I said, I think a huge part of this too is understanding the fiscal impact on the city and getting through November.
Yeah.
Because that'll have a huge impact on our budget.
That'll change things, maybe.
Correct.
Okay. All right, anything else on that one? Consent agenda? We have the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to make any changes or discussion or remove anything? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, first, Ms. Sutton,
I'll second.
and second, Mr. Lawson. Okay, let's go ahead and vote, please. One more. Huh? Is that you? Not on the screen. Okay. Well, not on the screen. You want to vote? I already did the second. Hmm? You did a second, so you're voting yes. Okay, it's unanimous. All right. Moving on, citizens who have been requested to be placed on the agenda. I have none. Number 9 is public comment for non-agenda items. Does anybody wish to speak on something we're not going to talk about tonight? No? You sure? If you want to speak on anything we're not going to talk about, now's the time to speak. Okay. All right. I'll take that as a no. Item 10 is unfinished business. 10.1 is ordinance 2026-02, electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and micro mobility devices. This is old business. We've talked on this before. We're looking for another approval vote, and I'd like the city clerks to read the opening paragraph.
All right. Ordinance number 26-02, an ordinance of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, creating Article 5 under Chapter 18 of the Mary Esther Code of Ordinances titled Electric Bicycles, Motorized Scooters, and Micromobility Devices, and providing for enforcement, severability, conflicts, codifications, and an effective date.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? Oh, you going to talk to it?
I can.
Well, do you have any questions? I mean, we've gone through this
Yeah, there's nothing's changed for the
nauseating
record,
detail.
Tyler.
We're just
Nothing's changed.
paralleling with the county.
Yeah, it's just the second final reading for this
Yeah.
ordinance.
Yeah. Well, any questions for Mr. Tyler right now? Not, the motion is to approve a second reading of the ordinance 2026-02, creating Article 5 of Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances to establish regulations governing electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and micromobility devices within the city of Mary Esther. Do I have a first?
So move, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Carter's gave us the first.
I'll second.
And we have second, Ms. Sutton. Let's go ahead and vote. Still broken.
Good to go.
Okay, you're good to go. All right. Oh, you did it. You did it. You voted twice. Okay. Vote early, vote often. Yeah. Okay, we got
Oh.
3. All right. Almost. Well, it probably locked out once they finalized it. Okay, well, how do you vote? Okay, we're unanimous on that. Thank you. All right, new business is 11.1, proclamation for Connie Day. Okay, I've got the proclamation. Is she here? I'm sorry. Yes, you're here. Let me read the proclamation, and then we'll come up and get photographs, and I'll give it to you. Yeah, come on up. I mean, well, I got to read it from the microphone. Just 2 seconds. I'll read it on the microphone. Otherwise, if I get up and read it, then I'll get yelled at. Okay. Shabowski. Okay. Connie Shabowski Day. All right. She will be honored by friends and relatives on the occasion of her 77th birthday on August 23rd. And whereas they were born in Danville, Illinois on August 23rd, 1949, and have been a resident of the community since October 2014. And whereas they have been blessed with 1 child, Shannon, and 2 grandchildren, Carl and Brandon. And whereas, in addition to their duties as mother, they have been to her duties as mother. She's been active in the community and civic responsibilities, including volunteer work at Mary Esther Public Library, volunteer work at Sharing and Caring of Okaloosa County, work at the HCA Florida Fort Walton Beach Destin Hospital Gift Shop, and attending the First Christian Church of Fort Walton Beach. And whereas during a long-term and productive lifetime, she has demonstrated in countless ways her dedication to the welfare of others and have earned the respect and affection of people from all walks of life and all ages. And whereas she have lived during the most eventful century of this world's history, and in her quiet way have been a force for good and a stabilizing influence on those around her during these turbulent years. Now, therefore, I, Chris Stein, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Mary Esther, Florida, and on behalf of the entire city council and all our citizens, do hereby proclaim August 23rd, 2026 as Connie Sabowski's Day in the city of Mary Esther, with sincere congratulations and best wishes for many more productive years in the future.
Thank you for all your service to our community.
I was told not to mess it up, so I'm messing it up.
Okay. There was an official city point, which I think you already have.
If I get to be in the parade, right?
Yes. Yes, you're making the parade this year, right? Official My picture on. Yeah. Keep this, and we're gonna redo it because you're a her, not a they. So we're gonna change that, and we'll make sure you get it. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that.
And thank you again for everything.
My picture's for
As long as he didn't sign it.
Get the sheriff in the house and tell him to counterfeit.
Yeah, you're gonna throw them away, right? The Secret Service will be after you. And thanks again.
Yes, thank you.
And Connie, you don't have to sit this meeting out. It's your birthday. You're exempt from the rest of this. It's up to you. It's just gonna be a bunch of, okay. It's up to you. Anytime you wish to leave, just raise your hand, okay? Not a problem. Okay, moving on. 11.2, Resolution 26-13, adoption of the citizens appearing before the city council policy. City manager.
Yes, Mayor and Council, at our last council meeting, there was a request to bring forward a policy regarding the section of the agenda entitled Citizens Who Have Been Requested to be Placed on the Agenda. The request was that the information be submitted 10 business days before the meeting and for staff to prepare a report. And so that is what you have in the policy in front of you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions? Okay, well, do I have a motion to approve resolution 26-13?
Stein. The resolution.
Oh, I'm sorry, read the paragraphs.
All right, resolution number 26-13, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, adopting a policy governing citizens appearing before the City Council, establishing a requirement that requests to be placed on the agenda be submitted at least 10 business days prior to the City Council meeting, requiring staff to prepare a staff report for each such request for inclusion in the agenda packet, authorizing the city manager to implement the policy and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Now, do I have a motion to approve resolution 26-13, adopting the citizens appearing before the city council policy?
I'll make the motion.
Have a first, Mr. Lawson.
I'll second.
You want it?
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Sutton got number 2. Let's go ahead and vote, please. Okay, we're 4-0. We're unanimous. Thank you. 11.3 is resolution 26-14, approval of an extension to the interlocal agreement with Okaloosa County for closeout of pending building permits. Mr. Tyler, you going for that one?
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. For the record, Tyler Reed, Community Development Director. So tonight, staff would like to first enter the staff report into the record. To ensure the smooth transition from the county to our third-party EPCI for the building permit reviews, we have elected to extend our interlocal agreement with the county past the expiration date of August 24th, 2026. So this would allow the county to finish all of those permits that they received prior to August 24th. And so it would be, they'll just finish what they started. So EPCI is not taking in permits that were already begun. So this is what we agreed would be probably the most efficient way to continue on with this. So we established a draft for the new interlocal agreement, and that's pretty much all we have tonight.
Just
So
an extension.
just an extension.
Right, and I would point out for the city council and the public, this is, we have submitted this draft, the attachment to the county. We have not received any comment yet, I think their intent is possibly to have it on their 18th, August 18th
Yes.
meeting. So there may be some adjustments, but we wanted to get this to you so you could see it, obviously, because the 24th is right around the corner and you may not have any other meetings. We are asking that through the approval of the resolution, that does give us some flexibility should we need to make some edits. You'll notice there's really no cost. These are all pass through. So if somebody needs another inspection or an inspection, they pay that cost, directly to the county, or if they pay it to us, would submit that money to the county. So this is really just a stopgap measure to make sure the county feels comfortable and we feel comfortable because there is at least one application for a permit at the mall that is kind of in this transition period, right? That may happen before the 24th. We may look at, how that one works out. But if there's any others that want to come in, the county wants to be able to tell them, yeah, we can take them versus, we're not taking any more. Y'all wait till.
You got it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Any discussion? Okay, in that case, it's a motion to adopt, go ahead and read it.
Okay. Resolution number 26-14, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, approving an extension to the interlocal agreement with Okaloosa County for the closeout of pending building permit applications, authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The motion is to adopt Resolution 26-14, approving an extension to the interlocal agreement with Okaloosa County for a closeout of existing building permit applications and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. Do I have a motion, a first?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Sutton's at number one.
Second.
Mr. Carter's number two. Let's go ahead and vote, please. Okay, we're unanimous. 11.4, Resolution 26-15, approval of amendment number 4 to the State Revolving Fund Loan Agreement number Whiskey 460201. Heather, go for it.
Heather Day, Finance Director. You'll see attached in your packet is the final amendment to the city's current wastewater SRF loan agreement, WW 460201. This current agreement includes funding for the demolition of the package plant, the prior sewer system improvements that were done in the Springdale neighborhood, rehabilitation of the oxidation ditch at the wastewater treatment plant, and the sewer system improvements in the Azalea Park neighborhood. But because the SRF loan agreement has remained open for more than 5 years, DEP has requested that the city close out the existing agreement and transfer the Azalea Park neighborhood sewer rehab project into a new SRF loan agreement. This will allow the city to finalize the current loan, begin debt service payments on the completed projects, and continue financing the Azalea Park project under a separate loan agreement. The city is postponing the oxidation ditch rehab project until it's determined whether conveying the city's wastewater to the county for treatment is a feasible long-term alternative. So that was originally in this agreement, but it's kind of on hold until we see if that's going to go according to plan. So we'll deal with that at a later time. But staff is recommending approval of Resolution 26-15, which will reduce the authorized borrowing amount under SRF loan agreement WW 460201 by $4,414,429. Semi-annual debt service payments will begin September 15th, 2027, in the amount of $10,048.80.
A month?
No, that's twice a year.
Oh, really?
So for that one, because we only drew down about 394,000 on that. So all the remaining funds that we had left on that loan, which you'll see in the next agenda item, is being transferred over to a new agreement to address Azalea. So.
Any discussion, any questions? Okay, in that case, you want to read the?
Yep. Resolution number 26-15, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, approving amendment number 4 to State Revolving Fund Loan Agreement number WW 460201, with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, removing the Exelia Park Neighborhood Wastewater Infrastructure Rehabilitation Project and the wastewater treatment plant oxidation ditch rehabilitation project from the loan agreement, reducing the total amount awarded to $394,071, revising the semi-annual loan payment, designating the authorized representative, authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Motion to adopt Resolution 26-15, approving Amendment Number 4 to State Revolving Fund Loan Agreement Number Whiskey 460201 with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment on behalf of the city. Do I have a first?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Sutton? Mr. Carter, number 2. Okay, let's go ahead and vote, please. And we're unanimous. Thank you. 11.5, Resolution 26-16. Are you going to continue to stand there?
Yep, 'cause this one's
Okay.
mine too.
Approval of State Revolving Fund Loan Agreement Number Whiskey 460202 for wastewater infrastructure improvements.
Okay, Heather Day again, Finance Director. Okay, so this one is the attached SRF loan WW 460202. So that's the new agreement. So this wastewater loan provides funding for the sewer system improvements in the Zelia Park neighborhood and also the slip lining project in the Springdale neighborhood. So the total loan amount is the $4,414,429, which is the deobligated funds that were being transferred from the previous loan we just talked about as part of that, the closeout of that agreement. As you're aware, the city recently applied for a CDBG grant to fund the slip lining in the Springdale neighborhood. So if that grant is awarded, the city will be able to reduce the amount borrowed under the SRF loan by the portion allotted to the slip lining project, which is estimated to be approximately 1.8 million. Then that's just based on the most recent project proposals, but that will have to probably be bid out again at a later date. But staff recommends approval of Resolution 26-16, authorizing the execution of SRF loan agreement WW 460202.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, when do we anticipate construction to start in the Azalea Park?
Soon, right?
So I know that SRF did have to review all of our documentation, and I believe we're at the point of now issuing a notice to proceed. So it would be within the next 2 months.
Or shovels on the ground?
I mean, we still have to come up with the project schedule, but I know that the contractor is ready to move forward with the notice to proceed.
Any more questions? Go ahead and read.
All right. Resolution number 26-16, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, approving Clean Water State Revolving Fund Construction Loan Agreement number WW 460202 with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection in the principal amount of $4,439,229 for the Exelia Park Neighborhood Wastewater Infrastructure Rehabilitation Project and the cured-in-place pipelining of sewer mains in the Springdale neighborhood, providing for the pledge of revenues of the utility system for repayment of the loan, designating the authorized representative, authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The motion is to adopt Resolution 26-16, approving State Revolving Fund Loan Agreement Number Whiskey 460202 with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection in the principal amount of $4,439,229 and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the city. Do I have a first on this motion?
I'll
I'll
make
make
that
the motion.
Okay, we got.
I'll second.
First Lawson, second Sutton. Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Good, we're unanimous. 11.6, consideration purchase order for an 18-inch insert valve.
So Mayor and Council, I've asked Josh Robinson, who's the project manager for Jacobs, to review these next 4 items with you. These are all purchases. Two of them are related, so 11.6 and 11.9. So yeah, we should probably put those back to back, but Josh can kind of explain sort of the need for those two purchases. And so Josh, if you would just give us some background.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Josh Robinson, leading your Jacobs O&M staff here in Mary Esther. Like Jared said, we've got 4 items on the agenda here today for approvals for some necessary purchases for the water and sewer system. First one here is this insert valve for Herbert Field. And just for a little bit of background, I want to identify just a couple terms associated with a pump station. So you've got the pump itself that will pump the water up and move it down the line. You've got the motor that will supply power to that pump to let it work. Then you have 2 types of valves on that piping as it leaves, a check valve and a gate valve or an isolation valve. That check valve will allow flow to move through the pipe as that pump kicks on. When it kicks off, it will close back shut to keep that primed for the next time that that pump cycles. The gate valve that's associated with it is more for isolating that section of that pump system. So Herbert Field has 3 separate pumps and motors associated with it. All 3 of those sections have their own isolation point. If we look back just a little bit, in early 2025, we had a motor failure out there, which put us down to 1 pump and motor operating that station. About March, April of 2025, we had a leak associated with pump 2, which was the only operable pump we had at that time. The check valve had failed, caused a leak. The isolation valve for that section also had failed. So we had no way to isolate that station. We had to get what's called a line stop installed at that point, which isolates the entire station. With that installed, we were able to replace the check valve and put a new 10-inch valve on that section of discharge pipe. Opened it back up, back to operating on that 1 pump. Bring you to November, when that pump and motor blew up, we had no operation at all. Luckily, we had that new valve we installed on that side, so we turned that off, purchased a bypass rental, redid some piping, got that hooked up so it could operate. And then if y'all remember from the ratification we did roughly, one was I think the December meeting and another one in February for basically the purchase of a new pump and motor for that station. That one is completely rebuilt. Pump and motor 2, valve, check valve, all good. Well, that station was budgeted for repairs this year for this insert valve before all that wonderful fun stuff happened. So what we're asking for now is to get that 18-inch valve installed on that discharge side. So when we go to do more upgrades to pump 1 and pump 3, we can go straight to that valve, turn it off, make the repairs we need without having to go through emergency purchases just to keep water flowing to prevent a spill. So with that being said, the financial impact on this one for the insert valve is $49,912. And that is what we're asking for approval on, is to move that purchase forward.
I have a quick question. How long did we pay the roughly $4,500 a month for the rental equipment?
So we paid that from the beginning of November through April of this year.
Chunk of change. And this will fix not having to do that again.
Once we tie that in with the next item, we're also asking for a bypass pump that had the capabilities like the one we had rented. Unfortunately, the pumps that we have just weren't capable to pump for that station. So if we get this isolation valve installed with the purchase of that bypass pump as well, we will have much better redundancy there to where if this does happen in the future, we won't be in that same situation. Does that answer that question?
Any more questions?
Are these the only 3 in question, no other pumps and valves out there in a similar situation?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Are these the only 3 pump components we're concerned about? Are there any other in like condition?
We have some infrastructure that obviously we can sustain to upgrade, but this station alone has been in operation since the 60s, and all that infrastructure is original. This is by far the station that needs the most attention. As far as the rest of the assets we have in the city, I'm very confident with how they're standing currently.
Thank you.
So it's vintage.
That's one word to describe it. Yes, sir.
60 years, oh boy.
Can we get,
Okay.
can we get a photo op with that?
Yes, sir. Anytime. We can ride out there anytime you'd
I
like.
think it might qualify as an
This is
antique.
freshwater, right?
This is the treated effluent that leaves the wastewater plant,
Okay,
goes to Hurlburt, and then to the spray field from there.
right, okay. Do I have a motion to approve the purchase order consolidated pipe and supply for one 18-inch insert valve in the amount of $49,912? An expensive valve.
I'll make the
Is it-
motion.
How can it cost so much?
It's a very extensive procedure that goes there. So
Oh, there's insulation too?
I'm sorry.
Is this insulation?
Yes, sir.
too?
That's with installation,
Okay,
valve
all right.
installation.
Not
Some,
just the valve?
no, sir. Some
Okay.
prep work on our end we have to help with, but that is them coming,
Okay,
installing, testing, and going.
okay. Got a first, Mr. Lawson? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Sutton. Let's go ahead and vote. Okay, we're unanimous. Thank you. 11.7, consideration for a purchase order for replacement of fire hydrants.
All right, so I'll take this one again as well. Josh Robinson, Jacobs O&M. This one's kind of self-explanatory. We've got fire hydrants as we find, deficiencies in them. We do try to get those replaced as quick as we can. We're getting to a point we need to have more on hand to make those repairs. So this one is just kind of replenishing stock that we've had before. And the only additional one with this one is we've got some 2-inch hydrants we put on here as well to try to identify the dead ends we may have in the system to be able to put a hydrant on those dead ends to flush that water out to further increase that water quality.
Any questions? Okay, you got any? Okay, fire hydrant? Motion to approve the purchase order to Ferguson Waterworks in the amount of $34,689. Okay,
And just to say again, all these items were approved and budgeted for this fiscal year as well. So the money is there as,
money there, just say, how many hydrants are you gonna buy?
it's a total of 15 hydrants.
15, okay.
Yes, sir. 9 of them are normal hydrants like the fire department would hook up to,
Yeah,
and the remaining are those dead end ones we're gonna use on the dead
Okay.
ends.
What happens to the old ones that you pull out?
Right now, we just pull them out and they're sitting over at well 2. We could look into maybe scrapping those or whatever y'all would like to recommend, but we don't do anything with them once we pull them out. They're just kind of put aside.
what makes them wear out? The internals,
The internals of them will wear out and you can repair them to a certain extent. Sometimes when the foot valve at the bottom of it does not hold at that point, I mean, you're just much better off to do a direct
Replace them.
replacement with them. Yes, sir.
what color are they gonna be?
The ones we're ordering right now are red.
Okay, red ones. All right. Just asking. Do I have a motion to approve? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got a question.
Some of the hydrants are the improved ones, like when that truck hit them, it's an improved hydrant that won't happen, right? Again.
Say that one more time.
Some of the hydrants that you're buying, or is it the new and improved ones? Like, remember when the truck hit the one and you needed a different type of hydrant? You ordered those, right?
Snap off.
Correct. So these will come with breakaways where if they are hit in the future, they are designed to break away. That way that issue doesn't happen. And we also will be putting isolation valves on these hydrants as well moving forward.
So
That
you can
was,
shut them off.
yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, get one for you. Okay, you're gonna put a motion on this. You're gonna do the
I
first.
thought I did.
First,
I'll
Mr.
make the
Lawson.
motion.
Okay. Number 2. Who wants to do number 2?
A second.
Second. Ms. Sutton. Okay. I'll be quiet. All right, let's go ahead and vote. We are one more. Sutton? Okay, we're unanimous. Thank you. 11.8, consideration purchase order for replacement of water meters.
All right. One more time, Josh Robinson with Jacobs O&M. And well, I lied. I've got one more after this as well. But this one's kind of right in line with those hydrants. This is something we routinely keep in stock, water meters. We've been changing them out like crazy. and we're trying to continue doing that to get these updated meters in place. And that's what this is, just kind of replenish what we have on hand to make those repairs.
Okay.
I have a question in reference to this. Unfortunately, I do quite a bit of walking, and I notice some people take their vehicles and run over these meters. Is there a way we can make them pay to have it replaced instead of us ponying up? Because they run over it with trucks and boats and God knows what else.
I'll have to refer to Jared on that one.
So I don't know how many we've had been damaged from that, but if we do have a way of demonstrating that somebody else has broken it, then we can hold them responsible. But typically, you're going to look for stuff like broken meter boxes and things of that nature.
I'm more than willing to take pictures when I see that.
Water meter police.
Yeah, well, but again, it's obvious when the vehicle's sitting right there.
On top of
And
the
the tire,
box.
yeah, and it's all crushed and leaking. I've noticed water coming out of it, which they don't want to pay their water bill, but yeah,
Of course
okay.
not.
But if you damage it, as far as I'm concerned, you should pay for it.
Yeah.
It depends. It really depends on the severity and whether or not it's intentional. I'm trying to think of. I can't think of any that we've had.
I have a question. Are these the newer model meters to where you can electronically read them, or is it still kind of you have to go by and scan?
So for context, these meters will be capable to do that. This is kind of the first step in getting to that end goal that you're speaking of there. So these meters are fully capable to do it. First step's going to be the meters that are not upgraded yet that we are replacing to get all of them of this like and kind. And then after that, there's another piece of equipment we would need to purchase to put on those meters. And then once there's infrastructure to go up to be able to automatically grab them. But in short, yes, these meters will be capable.
So this is the first step.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? The motion to approve a purchase order with Core and Main in the amount of $41,846.28. Have first,
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Sutton's, number one.
Second.
Two, Mr. Carter. Let's go ahead and vote. And we are unanimous. Thank you. 11.9, consideration purchase order for a 6-inch sewer bypass pump.
All right, Josh Robinson with Jacobs O&M again here. And like Jared said, the first item and last item here are kind of hand in hand. This bypass pump that we're trying to get purchased will be able to not only take care of the Hurlburt Field Station if we get into that issue again, but we can use this pump anywhere in the city that we've got a station or we need bypass capabilities in general. If I were to buy one, this is the one I would get.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So or is it possible to utilize like an interlocal agreement to allow like other cities that maybe do not have a bypass pump to use it when ours is not in operation or when we're not needing it?
That's possible. I'm sure I haven't looked into that myself. Jared, do you know anything about that?
Haven't looked at it for bypass pumps, so it'd be something we would have to look at just to make sure that obviously if you were essentially leasing or renting it out to other cities, that you have to take care of the maintenance and any damage.
Kind of like a rental car. Okay. Mr. Oda?
Yeah, if you will notice, it says that the Florida Sheriff's Association purchase contract is what we're going to use to buy this with. So, yeah, there's inter agreements that we can use and stuff like that. So it makes sense.
Any more questions? It's a motion to approve the purchase order for a 6-inch mobile sewer bypass pump in the amount of $526.85.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Sutton's got the first motion,
I'll second.
and Mr. Lawson's number 2 on that one. Thank you. Let's go ahead and vote. Okay, we're unanimous. Thank you. Thank you very much for the thing, and don't come back.
Thank you all very much.
No more. We're done writing checks for you guys, okay? All right, 11.10, consideration award of bid for Mary Esther Boulevard Median Landscape Project. Go ahead, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, Mayor and Council, as you know, this is the second time we put this project out to bid. We first advertised April earlier this year. We did not receive any bids, so we re-advertised the bids. We received 2. The low bid, unfortunately, was not responsive. There were a number of items that were missed, including things like signing the bid form, and the bid form itself wasn't legible. And so staff reviewed it as well as our engineer on the project, and we're both aligned that we would recommend the award to Rotolo Consultants, which is $699,838.20. This is more than what we were approved through DOT for the beautification project. We have reached out to DOT, and they did express a willingness to increase that amount. And so if the council would like to move forward with this, we would just recommend that we make it contingent on receiving an amendment to that joint participation agreement with FDOT.
Good one. Let them pay. Any questions? No? Okay. It's a motion to find the bid of Russell Landscape Florida LLC non-responsive to award the Mary Esther Boulevard Median Landscape Project to Rotolio Consultants Incorporated as the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $699,838.20, contingent upon the execution of an amendment to the joint participation agreement with FDOT providing the supplemental funding, and to authorize staff to obtain the bidder's written extension of its bid acceptance period through September 30th of 2026. Do you have a first on that motion?
So move, Mayor.
Mr. Carter got number 1 for the motion,
I'll second.
and number 2 is Ms. Sutton. Let's go ahead and vote. Okay, we're unanimous. Thank you. We're done voting for a while. 11.11, discussion contract for renovation of the new city hall.
Yes, Mayor and Council, as you know, at our last meeting, there was a request to bring this back to the council for discussion. So to give you kind of a status update for where we're at, last week, the contractor was here. They installed the carpet in the building, as well as the council dais was replaced. There are still a number of items that need to be dealt with. One being that there was not enough carpet that was ordered. So there's still more work on that end. At this point, as you know, we've gone back and forth a number of times trying to work with the contractor to close out this project. And so staff would recommend at this point that we move on. We try to essentially, I've got a meeting with our architect to do a walkthrough of the building on Wednesday to prepare a final list, such that anything that they have completed, we make sure that we pay them for work that was completed and that was completed satisfactorily. But beyond that, look at trying to close out this contract so that the remaining 3 larger items, we can work directly with some subs to get those completed. And that would be the exterior signage, the remaining carpet in the council chambers, and the floors, I think, need to be resealed. Those are kind of the three big things that are left. Um, uh, the other item, obviously, is the liquidated damages that we'll need to work through as well. And so, Hayward, I don't know if you want to add anything to this item.
Yeah, I think once we have the walkthrough with the architect, we'll be in a better position. What I've recommended to Jared is we coordinate with the architect, see what we have outstanding, to the best of our ability, ballpark that, build in a little bit of a cushion, discuss the liquidated damages, and present basically a way to, for lack of a better term, decouple from this contractor, have enough funds to finish out the project. So at some point, we will likely be coming back to the council to see about offering and kind of get this wrapped up. At that point, you know, the ball will be in the contractor's court on what they want to do. And so we understand the frustration, you know, from the council. We understand this is public funds, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that this project gets done and that the city's not paying more than it should. So I guess it's stay tuned, you know, because we're going to have to get some guidance from you as a council.
So let Mr. Oder go first.
Yeah, okay. By the agreement we signed with them, they are now 203 days behind. You multiply that times 1,000, that's $203,000. Besides the liquidation damages, I would also like to include any actual damages. I also believe we ought to charge them for all the city staff hours. I don't care if it's 100 or 1,000, they need to pay for that. I also believe we ought to include the legal fees on this. So if Jared needs to spend $50,000 or $100,000, that money needs to be added in there. As far as I'm concerned, we need to get this fixed quickly. The other thing I would ask on this, obviously, and I'm including us, biblically speaking, all of us, we did not do very well at processing this and picking this. We need to start over and start from scratch so we don't ever make this mistake again. So we, and even those of us up here who approve this, need to do a better job on this. And again, as far as I'm concerned, I've gone by that building 5 days a week, and there's not working much at all. And my other concern with this is it appears to be some shoddy work, and I'm worried that new bathroom they put in, what if it starts leaking? Or they didn't do the wiring correctly, and whatever, asbestos or whatever. I mean, the scenario just run through my head. So yeah, I'm all for the gloves come off. We need to sit down and have it all ready. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they owe us money. That's all I have. Thank you.
I want them off the premises immediately. This is beyond, I mean, we're beyond just liquidated damages for being 203 days past the deadline. The level of mistakes, and I don't mean just one mistake, but this is the problem with accepting the lowest bid, is you get the lowest quality. And this is not up to standards by any, and because this is taxpayer dollars, this is an embarrassment, and they need to get off. And I'm speaking with Mr. Oder here that I don't care what we have to spend with Hayward to go after them, but they need off the premises and liquidated damages, plus all of the extra mistakes, including how many times have we ordered carpet now? Is it 3, 4, 5, 6? I mean, no, and having to redo a diocese, no, this is completely unacceptable for everyone up here. But they need to be off the premises immediately, and we need to actually get someone that can do the job. Not keep hand holding and letting them see if they can fix their mistakes. They've had 203 days to fix mistakes, and they failed. So now it's time to get off the premises.
Carter?
Mayor, how much have the city withheld in payment? How much do we still control?
So we still have over $100,000 left on the contract.
Okay. Council President, you prepared for a motion, for what you just stated?
Yeah, I say we withhold the $100,000. They already owe us 203,000. So I'd like to make a motion that they are dismissed immediately.
Okay,
So
hold on.
just before we go down that path, I mean, there are certain contractual requirements. We've provided notice. We plan to provide notice again pursuant, the architect does act. This is a AIA contract. The architect acts as kind of the first level. If there's a dispute regarding, I will say we have two pay apps. There are issues with, I think is it 5.6 or 6.7? I forget which, but
Five.
5 and 6. So 5, they submitted previously. The architect has marked that up, reducing that amount. And then they've submitted number 6, which also, that's why the walkthrough to try to finalize. So, I mean, I understand.
Okay, I can amend I'll amend mine. I'd like the architect fired as well because it started with him. So I'd like the architect firm is fired as well, and damages need to be liquidated against them as well, because we should not be going back and forth the table. They violated the terms of the contract by 203 days. There is no more discussion. There is no more hand holding. There is no, let's go back, give them notice. They're out of notice. It's 203 days past the contract. So if we need a different attorney that can handle this contract, we can do that as well. But at this point.
That's fine if the board wants to do that. I'm just trying to provide legal advice. There's a written signed contract.
203 days.
Right, I understand. And what I'm trying to do is not provide ammunition for them to say, hey, you violated the terms of the contract, right? Right now, I see this as kind of a one-way street, right? That they violated. There's no reason for the city to do anything to impair its position. But again, I'm here for advice. We'll do what the council.
Speaking of advice, Mr. Oder mentioned several times throughout the last 6 months, the number of days. And they're, in the contract, it's $1,000 a day over when the finish date. Do you think we have a leg to do that? I mean, what's your advice on that issue? Should we go after them for the $203,000? That would cover all the expenses. I mean,
I'm not going to advise this council not to seek the liquidated damages. It's in there. What I will say is the case law on liquidated damages is somewhat nuanced in the fact that it's not always, you had liquidated damages, you get every dollar or penny that's in there. There's case law in courts that have said, hey, look, it shouldn't be punitive. It shouldn't be a situation where you get a whole building or a whole house for free because you were able to get liquidated damages, right? And we're not suggesting that's the case. So I do think there is a world where the court could look at something like this and say, hey, yeah, you did shoot over. We're not going to give you 200,000. Maybe we give you 100,000. Maybe we give you 150,000. But I can tell you, there's no account where they've been putting $1,000 in a day that we can just go get that money tomorrow.
The money's not there.
Right. So, and I don't think anybody up here thought that was the case. But what I will tell you is, we're mindful, of, as I said earlier, the frustration. I mean, it's not lost on staff either. Jared's, expressed it. I've had less interaction with the contractor, but, we've expressed that in both written and on the phone. So, I mean, as you pointed out, it's come to a head. You've given them, as a council and staff, has attempted to try to get this across the finish line. It keeps not getting across the finish line. So this was our way of trying to say, hey, we're going to go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off. There is going to be a point where we're going to come to you, and if the council decides on what's been said tonight, and if that's still the direction from the council, then we'll go back and tell them, this is what we're willing to take to resolve this matter, right? And that's going to come from you, not going to come from staff, not going to come from me. It's going to come from this board. And then they're gonna have to decide if that's something they want to do or contest. And I have no problem taking this to court if that's where it needs to end up. But I am trying to be, you know, mindful of the fact that, litigation rarely gets resolved timely, for most people's satisfaction. If we filed suit today for all the things that have been outlined up here, you're probably still looking at 16 to 18 months before, it gets resolved through trial. That assumes you don't get a settlement beforehand. So, I mean, that's fine. I do that stuff all day and twice on Sunday, so it doesn't bother me in that regard. But, we want to be able to get our arms around what's left, get our arms around the cost to get this brought to the finish line. Because at the end of the day, Jared and I have always been, we just want to get it done, right? We'll figure out this other stuff once we can get the building and have you guys using it the way it was designed to be used. That's not happening. So
No.
we get it. We're trying to get, we're gonna have to bring in other, subs or, vendors to come in and finish this. That's also gonna take time, right? So, again, none of it's gonna be, we decide today and then by Friday, you're gonna have a check. If it was, I would say, hey, let's go do that.
Well, technically, they do have the 200,000 because they've either put up a bond or they have it in insurance. Because they had to provide those type of numbers towards to even work for the city.
Right. And then there's a process of, going after the bond or, them making a claim for insurance. And we'll explore those options, right?
Right, but there's no incentive for them to keep working right now because they know they are over 200 days past this. And if you walk past that building on any given day, on a typical Monday through Friday, you very rarely see workers there. Or you maybe see the one guy that does show up. Their vehicles have been parked like vagrant vehicles in the parking lot for months and don't ever seem to move.
And what I would, recommend that this council consider, and again, you can decide, I know Ms. Sutton has made a motion, that you allow, I think the walkthrough is going to be this Wednesday. Allow that walkthrough to happen, and then if you want to have a special meeting specifically to deal with that, because then we'll have an idea of what's left, maybe who we can have come in to fix that, the cost for that, and then we can decide what the offer, if any, is going to be. But that's just my recommendation, just so you'll have better numbers. But if the council decides to move in a certain direction, then we'll try to get that resolved as council directs.
You want to wait till after the meeting?
No, I do not. These are taxpayer dollars and no, I'm done waiting.
Can I just ask you to repeat the motion if that's the way we're going?
Give a question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Since Councilman Oda brought up the quality of the workmanship, what recourse, regardless of what we decide tonight, what recourse do we have for shoddy workmanship and quality? Do we go after? Because it's amazing that the architect, who seems to be the person holding the stick, he hired these people, he managed the contract, but yet he doesn't seem to, or she, whoever that entity is, has been responsive because he's had 200 days to fix it. So I'm curious to his mindset as to what assurance do we have that he will now do something that he hasn't already done or should have done? So I don't know if Wednesday, I mean, I see your point, sir, attorney. I agree with all the things that you've said, but it's been so far down the road. The barn door is open and the cow's already gone, and we just continue to, in a sense, acquiesce to what he wants. In regardless to all your efforts and the legal conversations you guys have had, I don't see where, in a sense, 2 more days, he's going to have an epiphany and start working with us.
Is the architect involved?
So just for clarification, so the role of the architect is to review the work before we pay for the work. And there have been a number of things that have been rejected, right? So like the carpet, we talked about the carpet. That was rejected at the beginning. It was done anyways.
Right. I mean,
And so at the end of the day, we didn't pay him for it. We said, you've got to replace the carpet, and then we'll pay you for it. So that is the role of the architect, is to go out there and do those inspections. Any electrical inspections, plumbing inspections, those are handled like any other building permit. So those currently go through Okaloosa County for inspections. So all of those items go through a normal inspection like you would any other
Right, but the
project.
architect's role is to operate as a general contractor. And if this was any one of us building a house, I guarantee we'd have already fired the architect and had them replace to someone that is more qualified to get this done, because this is costing our staff ridiculous amounts of time. And the last I checked, none of y'all work for free. It's costing all of us time. I don't want it to come back for a meeting just to go, oh, okay, well, we've had it, the architect's gonna do this and that, and no, we've heard this song and dance for the last year. It's time to,
So, I mean, as Hayward mentioned, that certainly council can take action tonight if you would like. The purpose of having that walkthrough is knowing essentially exactly what we feel like is left, so that we can essentially document things for this process moving forward.
to me, the meeting, the essentialness of that meeting is to say, please pack your stuff and get off the property. That's how I feel that meeting should go. And that goes for the contractor and the architect. So my motion is to immediately dismiss the architect firm and the contractor and go for liquidated damages.
Okay. I need a second.
Second?
Okay. Any more discussion? Go ahead and vote. See what you know.
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
And just to read it back, so we're motion to immediately dismiss the architect and contracting firm and seek liquidated damages. Is that
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Thank you. And it was Sutton and,
Carter.
thank you.
It passed. Okay, you got your orders. All right, anything else? All right, council standing committee and status reports and other comments. Let's start out with Ms. Sutton.
Hi, okay, for the last 2 weeks, I've spent in transportation meetings with, for national transportation boards and state. 2 weeks ago, I met with Deputy Assistant Secretary for Policy at the U.S. Department of Transportation. That is a mouthful, sorry. His name is Owen Morgan. It was lovely meeting a lot of DOT officials from all over the country, including as far away as Alaska. They all have very similar transportation issues like we do. It was reassuring and depressing at the same time to know we're not all in the, same boat. The state conference, though, down in last week in St. Pete, the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Board is planning something unique that I've not seen before in our area. And they are doing a neurodivergent park in one of their communities, meaning those that have like ADD or ADHD or autism. And I know that we are currently working on our master parks plan, and it might be something that we want to integrate at a future park down the road. I mean, obviously this is, coming maybe in a couple of years, but it's something that we ought to consider because we do have a number of special needs schools in our region where those children, and we do have a large adult community that could benefit from a neurodivergent type park.
You gonna talk about our luncheon? Okay, I had a luncheon at Magnolia Grill with candidate somebody.
Paul Renner.
Yeah. It was interesting, but a lot of people were there, Pat Maney and the rest. It was a good meet and greet and everything. Met some interesting people. Veterans Day parade's moving ahead. A lot of people want to do both parades, is that correct? Or at least a few, so it's like we're still going to have a parade part of the parade versus just a breakfast, veterans breakfast kind of deal. So still moving ahead with that one. And that is all I have. Go ahead.
Good, sir.
Schroeder?
Yeah, I was, unfortunately, when I was at that luncheon, I was unable to attend the library cooperative meeting. Mr. Lawson set in on that. Thank you for that. Because again, we have to have a quorum to make things move forward, which was good. Also, it's also nice to share. That way, God forbid, I get hit by a bus, you'll know what's going on. The other thing, also, the library people were, again, outstanding giveaway. I believe it was 100 or more school backpacks for the school kids and stuff. And helping my two grandsons now go through that, that's getting to be quite expensive. And besides, in whenever the teachers lists come out and more things and stuff. So again, thank you for doing that. In reference to the luncheon thing, it was interesting because again, he's an ex-military naval intelligence officer, also was on the ships. He saw some action in Afghanistan, some other places. He's also a prosecutor. He's a lawyer, which that doesn't always mean good things. Most of the time.
Hey, we're not.
But anyway, but it was interesting to see. The other thing is with it, he brought up a good point, and I would suggest you all do this. Take 15 minutes, go on their websites, go on YouTube, and listen to them and watch them and learn. Don't just because someone's got an endorsement by somebody else doesn't mean they shouldn't debate. To me, that's my job interview. If you're not willing to debate, I'm not willing to vote for you. Okay? So to me, that's very important. But that's my one vote. That's my one vote. I'm only one vote, but still, that's what I would suggest. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Hayward?
I want to just put on the council's radar. We have been trying to work with the insurance carrier. We were talking about the hydrant that got damaged a few months back and didn't have the isolation valve caused. We've included that they provided an offer that would cover property damage that was caused by that accident. We've also included damages related to having to shut the water system down and lost revenues the city realized because of all that. So we've submitted that. We've gone back and forth. Last week, I was hoping to have an update before we got to this meeting. Unfortunately, I don't have that. But if we don't kind of bring that to some conclusion, probably within the next week or two, I may come back to this council to discuss either A, deciding to waive those damages, or B, if you want to seek those damages, then we may end up needing to sue the.
What are the numbers on those damages? Big money or little money?
It ain't gonna pay for these hydrants and the things that
Well, I
you.
understand the hydrants, but I mean, the
No, what I'm
sheriff
saying
shutting
is-
a road down,
Right,
things
what I'm
like that.
saying is, we're probably looking at another 20.
It was about 15,000 for
Yeah.
the water loss.
Like, probably with the water loss and the property damage, we're looking at what, 25 to 30,000 all in.
Okay, I just
So
curious.
it's not a lot
hundreds of
money,
thousands.
right?
Okay.
But it is
Okay.
something we feel comfortable that if we were forced to go to court, we've got a decent facts to
Case.
support that.
Okay.
But again, it's always that cost benefit analysis. So I just wanted to kind of put that on your radar, that I may be coming back maybe next month. Hopefully, fingers crossed we can get it resolved. If not, then I'm going to need direction from the council.
Okay.
Right.
City clerks?
This will be the most important thing I teach you. Do your ethics training, do your cybersecurity training, check your mailboxes. Thank you to our administrative coordinator, Susan McDonald, for running the meeting and the help tonight. I hope this has been enlightening. And finally, I would like to say that while I am still waiting for the official final, I can confirm I am finally done with my master's with all A's. So I am very happy to have it behind me. And that is
Is it
all.
physical education?
Um,
Masters in physical, PE, okay.
Kids.
Kids program, okay.
That's all I
Mr.
have.
City manager. Anything exciting?
Had a wonderful vacation last week, and now I'm back in.
Welcome back. Okay, finance, anything? Code enforcement, Tyler? Okay, nothing? Go ahead and adjourn. Thank you.